The VP9SK? Oh yeah. Come on guys, who doesn't like an HK? When HK introduced the VP9, it wasn't long after I was really wanting a compact or subcompact version of that pistol. It just shoots really smooth, the trigger's excellent, it is HK quality, so you know you're getting a lot of quality workmanship and materials in the pistol. And now that I have the SK, guys, I've just been shooting this thing. I mean, I've already put 500 rounds through it, and I'm going to be shooting more because this gun just shoots fantastically. We're going to look at a lot of the different features. It is just a cut down version of the standard VP9, but this makes an excellent concealed carry option. The VP9SK, this is a subcompact version of the standard VP9, which was introduced in 2014. It is HK's third striker fire pistol, but it's been a number of years since the VP70 and the P7. It took 4 years to develop the VP9, and the cold hammer forged barrels that are in these guns have been tested up to 91,000 rounds. So it's a very durable, solid pistol, and of course HK, you know, is well known for its high quality. First thing we're going to do, of course, is make sure the gun is unloaded, and you'll notice that we have the magazine release, which is on the trigger guard, and we have a 10-round magazine. It's all steel. These are also compatible with your P30. But these are 10 rounds, and these magazines are excellent. They hold up to actually NATO standards. And then we're going to check the chamber, and the gun is empty. But one of the big things about the VP9SK is that there's some features on here that are not present with a lot of your other striker fire pistols, your subcompacts. One of the big things is the grip, interchangeability of the grip. Also, you have your accessory rail and front cocking serrations. The polymer frame is very well done. The finish is excellent all throughout. The texturing on these panels is very fine, but it's almost like little squiggly lines. So it gives you a lot of texturing with the grip, and yet it's very comfortable to the hand. I mean, you can feel the resistance, but yet it's very soft shooting. We have finger grooves here. This is a removable panel that we'll look at, and there are 3 different sizes. And then of course we have the back strap. There are 3 different sizes for it, and it comes with the medium. And we have VP right here on the grip. Now, one thing that the VP9 has that most pistols don't are these cocking ears, or charging supports is what they call it. This allows you to grab hold of the rear of the slide very easily with minimal hand strength and be able to rack the slide. Now, these are removable. And you can get flat panels to go in here, but you'll have to remove the sight. But it's one of the things that when I first got my first VP9, I didn't know whether I'd like that or not. But guys, I'll tell you, it really aids in being able to bring that slide back. There are wide cocking serrations in the back and also at the front, which do go at an angle. So that gives you an ability to press check if you want to, or if you want to rack your slide from the front, you can grab it, and of course at the rear with the serrations or with the charging supports. It just really makes it simple to be able to bring that back, and it's not excessive, it doesn't stick out or protrude. So I really have grown to love this feature. The Picatinny rail is a shortened M1913 Picatinny, which you can do a lot of lights and lasers. It is short, so you'll have to make sure you get the right adapter for it. I know some of the early HKs, maybe the USPs and things like that, have a proprietary rail system that can be a pain to fit, but this is your 1913. The controls are molded to the side of the pistol, which to me is a must. We have your takedown lever here, we have your slide release here, and then again we have our magazine release, which is built into the trigger. So it's not sticking out here, there's no way you're going to hit that, and yet it makes it really easy. Now for me, I love using my shooting finger to be able to depress those mags. But if you want, you can also do it right here with your shooting thumb, which also makes this ambidextrous. These are, of course, obviously accessible from either side, which leads us to the next point, is we have a slide release right here, and then again with your mag release. So this pistol is fully ambidextrous, and of course you got your takedown lever here, which is not really an ambidextrous feature. It's just one side or the other. Then we have our sights. They're metal sights, and they're more the Novak style. They are a 3-dot, and then at the front you have a blade. These are adjustable for windage. One of the things that they say about this is adjustable for elevation, but you'll have to replace the front sight with a different sight. They are 3-dot sights, and they are painted with an luminescent paint. This is a really excellent quality. And then of course the front sight here. They are really easy to pick up during the daylight and of course at night. With extended periods of darkness though, these are going to probably fade out somewhat. So they do offer a night sight version. It's about $100 more. You see this little red dot right here, and this means that the striker has been cocked. Doesn't mean the gun's loaded, it just means the striker's cocked, and then when you pull the trigger, it disappears. Now we're going to place a dummy round in the magazine, and then we're going to rack the slide, and we have an unobtrusive loaded chamber indicator, just marked in red. And then when we do this, it goes down some. You can still see the red a little bit through it, but it doesn't stick out. Along the top, there is a rib that goes along with the sights. One of the things about that rib that's really important is that when you're bringing your pistol, after firing the pistol, as it comes down, you naturally align with this line before you hit the sights. And so that's really a key feature on a handgun, to be able to have that. It just directs your eyes to the sight. The barrel is cold hammer forged, and they make it out of cannon grade steel according to H&K. It's polygonal grooves, which is going to help with accuracy, and it's going to also extend the life. It's a 3.39 inch barrel. Now, being a typical striker fire pistol, there are no external safeties, but we do have a number of safeties in here. One, and we can disassemble, we'll see it a little better, but there is a firing pin block. So the trigger has to be pulled. That way if you drop the pistol, it's not going to have an accidental discharge. Of course, you have your trigger latch safety, which is typical for most of your striker fire pistols. And that means that you've actually got to get your hand in a shooting or finger in a shooting position to pull the trigger back. It's going to stop it. There's also a disconnect, so if the slide is at all cannoned out of battery, it disengages the disconnector, so you can't fire the pistol. Also, when the gun is disassembled, the magazine has to be released, which is important. And of course, we've already looked at the striker indicator and the loaded chamber indicator. So there's a number of features on this pistol that lead to safety, which is very important. Now, it does again come with a 10-round magazine. Then it comes with another 10-rounder with a finger support. And then you can use the 15-rounders in this gun. I tested the 15-rounders at the range, and it did well, which I really expected. Now, they're also going to be coming out with a 13-round magazine for the SK, and it's going to have a small little adapter plate at the bottom and for the 15-rounders. So that way you'll have a fit that will go with the grip, and it'll be a very natural grip, because if you put a 15-rounder in this pistol, it hangs out the bottom, which is fine, and it actually gives you a little bit, but you don't want to put a lot of pressure on your magazine, which could lead to malfunctions. And then if you want to go with the finger groove, which has texturing on it, this gives you a full grip on the pistol and still kind of gives you that angle and a little more concealability. One of the things about the magazine, there are cuts right here that if you do need to rip the magazine, in case it gets jammed somewhat or there's dirt and debris in there, gives you a little bit of a ledge to be able to pull that down, which I really like. And it's got that little cut. Here we have one of the new VP9s in the OD green color. This also comes in a gray, comes in FD, and of course in the traditional black. You can see the difference, and which the regular VP9 is very comparable to the Glock 19. A little touch bigger, but pretty much the same. With the VP9, you're getting really close to the Glock 26. So there's a definite big difference between the two. Now, for me, typically, I like having a full-size pistol for home defense or for doing competitive shooting. But then for concealed carry, I like to have a smaller brother of the same. Here you can see the difference, considerable on the grip, and again right here at the barrel. You're going with 10 rounds with the VP9SK, 15 rounds with the standard VP9. But again, there are some extra magazine options here. Now, H&K introduced the P30SK before the VP9SK. The P30 is a hammer-fired pistol, and this gun has been safety checked. But you can see that when you pull the trigger, the hammer comes back. And these are a lot more expensive to produce than your striker fire pistols. The way these are produced, it's just less expensive in production costs, so you're going to get a better price. But now with the P30, as far as dimensions, they are actually exactly the same in all dimensions. So whether you want to go with hammer fire or striker fire, whichever you feel most comfortable with, you know, HK's got you covered. Of course, one of the benchmarks to compare any gun to, not necessarily because of quality, but just because of the popularity of the Glock. The Glock 26, it's one of my main concealed carry pistols, mainly because I have a lot invested in Glocks by just shooting, range time, things like that, and I've owned them since they were introduced. But one of the things about these two pistols is that they're pretty much the same in a lot of dimensions, and we're going to take a look and compare both. For one thing, the weight on this is, these are about 2 ounces less than your VP9SK, which is very minimal. From the slide to the end of the barrel is really about the same. One thing that the Glock barrel sticks out a little bit, so the slide on the SK is a little bit longer. But it's pretty much the same dimensions there. But as you can see, it comes down just a little bit on the VP9SK, just about the width of your magazine base. But one of the big differences between the two pistols is the distance between your web of your hand and your trigger. With the Glock, it does come out considerably more. So you have a thicker area between the web of your hand and right here than you do on the SK. It's actually much more ergonomic with the SK. And we're using Freedom Munitions 115 grain full metal jacket, and then we have some Pro Match, and this is 135 grain XAP. This will be for our accuracy. We've already shot about 300 rounds yesterday at the range, and so we're going to do a little bit of touch up here, get a little feel for the pistol. When I got a call from Wheaton Arms saying that the VP9SK had arrived, I immediately drove up there and picked it up. I was already heading to the rifle range, so I took the VP9SK along with me and did my first initial shooting. I had about 300 rounds and I went through every bit of it. The gun, it just makes you want to shoot this gun. The ergonomics of the pistol, just how it shoots flat, and of course with the standard VP9, it has a flat coil recoil spring. But with the SK, they've got a double recoil spring, which really helps for you know, getting back on those follow-up shots with the shorter slide and the shorter barrel. Same thing the Glock did with their Model 26. And it definitely makes a big difference. Just the ergonomics though, again, and the controls, where they are, they're flat to the pistol, they're easy to manipulate. And this is one of my favorite features. It's becoming more and more of a favorite, just having that mag release there on the trigger guard. The ergonomics of the pistol, I mean, it just fits in the hand, and of course you can change out those back straps and the side panels to make it just right, which is unheard of really for most of your small subcompact pistols. And again, with the accessory rail, There's a lot of cool features on this pistol, and I think you're going to be seeing more and more of that, adding those really great features that a lot of the full-size brothers have to this small subcompact pistols. And H&K has really led the way, especially with the side panels, so you can really just fit that grip to you. I mean, let's face it, guys, we all have different hand sizes, different ways we use our hands, and what's comfortable for each of us. So this just gives you that many more options. Now, out of all the rounds we fired, we had 0 malfunctions, and we were shooting Freedom munitions, both 115 grain full metal jacket and the Pro Match XAP rounds, which are hollow point rounds. I really appreciate Freedom Munitions for jumping in and sponsoring the ammo. It is such a big help. And plus they offer you guys a 5% discount using Suit00, which really helps as well. Anytime you can get a discount on ammo, that helps. But I decided to go ahead and take the full-size VP9 down there and just shoot them side by side, because it really gives you a real close look at the differences between the two, with the shorter barrel, with the shorter grip. And you know, the VP9 definitely has a little more controllability. But for the comparison with the size and being able to conceal carry this, it's not a whole lot. I found this to be a very shootable pistol. And that's just one of the trade-offs. You know, you get a larger pistol, got a longer sight radius, it makes it easier to be able to get on target. But with a self-defense pistol, really, this is for close-up and personal, and yet you can really get decent accuracy even out of the SK. Now in the box we have a large back strap, and then we have the small back strap. Again, the medium's already on there, and then we have the large side panels, or thick side panels, and then we have the thin side panels. So you can fit this to your hand. We're going to take the magazine out, take a punch. Right here is your pin to be able to release that back strap. Push it through, and then just pull off your back strap. Then you can pull off the side panels. And there are grooves in the grip panels that actually correspond right here with this groove, and then it makes it fit just right. And we're going to take those out as well. Now we're going to put in the thin grips. Make sure that you align that groove to make it a proper fit. Then just bring up your grip. Going to replace the pin. And we're all done. Now I have the small back strap and the small grip panels on the side. Now we're going to disassemble the firearm. Just release your magazine, check to make sure the gun is unloaded. First thing we do is bring back our slide and engage our slide release. Then we have our takedown lever here, and we just bring it down. Now, according to HK, you do not need to pull the trigger to disassemble the firearm. But of course, once you bring the slide back and engage it, any round that would be in there is going to be gone anyway. So then when we release the slide stop, if we hit this lever, we can pull the slide right off. The lever just goes forward like this. Now, there was a couple of times I was doing it that it seemed not to function in the right way, and I tried it a couple of times and then it worked. So once you release the slide, then you can hit this and it should bring it right back. Now we're going to remove our guide rod and our recoil spring. It is a dual captured guide rod, which really helps, especially with the smaller pistol. And then we have our barrel, which is 3.39 inches. It is a Browning linkless short action design. The feed ramp has been really nicely polished, and it's just a tradition, tried and true barrel system. Now here at the inside of the slide, you can see, number one, it's just incredibly precision finished. But it's definitely different than a lot of your striker fire pistols, and there are no polymer parts. It's all steel. The finish on the slide is nitrocarburized. It's what H&K calls their hostile environment finish. It's not only on the slide, but it's in all the parts, all the metal parts of the gun, including pins and springs. And this is a treatment that really protects your metal and gives it really a long-lasting resistance to corrosion and things like that. So just an excellent system, and of course HK is known for, you know, really fine work. One thing to definitely take a note of are the slide rails. They're very thick, full slide rails. The locking block is just solid, and then here at the back also really thick and beefy slide rails. This will give you just a little bit of a look. It's a lot different than your standard polymer frame pistols. And again, HK took 4 years to develop this design, and it really shows. And guys, that's all you need to do to field strip to replace your barrel and guide rod. Make sure that larger end is on the outside, and then bring your slide over. Gauge your slide stop, bring your lever around, drop it, and then test for function. And we're good to go. Being a striker fire pistol, these are less expensive to produce than your standard like P30 or your USPs. The hammer and all the different internals are a lot different, and a little more care is needed. So the VP9 retails for $719. As far as street price goes, I saw them anywhere from $530 all the way down to below the $500 range. I think I even saw them for $486, which is a great price for a striker fire pistol, much less an HK. And cost of the magazines run about between around the $40 range to $45 range. And I do want to thank HK for sending this pistol for the evaluation. This is one of the first test pistols that got out, but from what I understand, these are ready to be distributed. So you should be seeing the VP9SK coming to your stores really soon, if not already. Okay, as far as pros and cons of the pistol, big pros. Interchangeable back straps and side panels on a subcompact pistol. You have an accessory rail. You have your front cocking serrations. Those are things that most of your subcompact striker fire pistols do not have. Another thing is, with these charging supports right here, that is a nice advantage to me. I really like that. And if you don't like it, you can get the flat panels to be replaced in here. The sights themselves, the luminescent sight 3-dot, they're really easy to pick up, but definitely if you want something for self-defense, I really like night sights. But they're still very well done, metal, they're excellent. Of course, the quality of the HK, the cold hammer forged barrel, the hostile environment finish on here, the nitrocarburizing is going to give you a lot of wear. Love the grip angle, love the grip, very fine, close to the hand, super ergonomic. Now, as far as cons go, really beside the price of the magazine, you know, we're talking about probably $40 to $45 compared to a Glock, which is about the $25 to $30 range. That's definitely a little something, but one of the things about these is that they are NATO quality. I mean, they have really put up with a lot of stress, and they're just excellent magazines. They're all metal. Really, as far as that goes, except for just a little bit of a extension right here at the grip over the Glock Model 26, I just don't see any other cons. The price is really very reasonable. In the $5 to $525 range, that's very comparable to any of your striker fire pistols on the market, at least the really nice guns. And two, they will be coming out with some other options with the 13 round and 15 round magazines with the spacers in between. And obviously they'll come out with more of the grip, different colors for the grips. So, you know, overall guys, you know, it's just another striker fire pistol, and it's in the subcompact, and it compares to a lot of others on the market. But I think it's one that you need to, and you owe it to yourself to check it out, put it in your hand, see what you think. Because guys, I'm telling you, this is just an excellent option for concealed carry. And hey, it's H&K. And one thing I will mention is Military Arms Channel did a little bit of a gauntlet test with the original VP9. And of course it got sand and mud and things like that in it, and there were some issues. But really, for everyday carry and what you're going to do, this VP9 will handle about anything. Now, a lot of you know that YouTube has made some changes and gun channels are under restricted category, and it has affected our earnings quite a bit. I do this full time and really enjoy it, but you know, it's getting tough. So if you really want to help the Suits channel to stay on YouTube, you can go to patreon.com/SOOTCH00 and you can support the channel. I've gotten a lot of questions from people, and actually it's really nice to have the support that we've had. You know, I'm not asking for anything for free. I'm saying that if you value the Suits channel, I'm just asking you to show your support. We've got to keep gun channels on YouTube because we are reaching millions of people. And a lot of these people are becoming gun owners and then NRA members, and it's just really exciting to what's going on. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. One thing that's one of the big things, okay, now one of the patented things, okay, the VP9SK, and the SK stands for, I don't know what it stands for, SK. In that same frame, or that same style. And I'm just glad that stupid dog has shut up. That was lucky. I could barely see through this camera.